Dear Rector Kvitasvili, dear Minister Baramitse, dear friends, let me start by saying how very pleased I am to be here. Tbilisi State University is the oldest university in the Caucasus region, and it is the alma mater of many of your country's most important and influential personalities. I'm also pleased that other important Georgian academic institutions are represented here today, because I'm certain that sitting in this audience are many of Georgia's future leaders. And that is why I'm delighted to have this opportunity to address you and to hear your views, because you represent the future, and I want to know what type of future you want for yourselves and for your country. But before looking forward, it is important to look back, to look at where you are today, to see where you have come from, and to reflect on what you have already achieved. And so, in my remarks today, I want to do just that. First, to look to the past. Second, to look at the present. And third, to look at the future. So, let me start with the past. If I could take you back a couple of millennia, you would find yourselves in a part of the Roman Empire, in a prosperous region at the eastern limits of the empire, and that would soon become one of the first in the world to convert to Christianity. These Roman roots are significant because they show that you belong to Europe. We share common values, a common culture, and a common history. Now, let me take you back a couple of decades. This would be the time that many of you were born. Your country had gained independence from the Soviet Union, but it saw the start of a period of internal conflict. Georgia was paralyzed by civil war. That was a significant period, and it underlines the importance of seeking solutions through consultation and cooperation, not conflict. Now, let's go back 8 years to when you were young teenagers. Those are times you can probably recall easily, and they are times that I clearly remember too. I've just come from your parliament, the parliament which was at the very center of the Rose Revolution. I'm well aware that many students from this university also played an active role in the protests, and that they were instrumental to their success. The Rose Revolution was a strong affirmation of the right of the Georgian people to choose their own leaders and to plan their own future. It was a powerful and peaceful call for freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. And for the past 8 years, you and your country has been building a new nation on the basis of those principles. Now, that's enough of the past. So let me move on to my second point and take a quick look at the present. Your country has come a long way, and in a very short time, it has made considerable progress in a wide range of areas, in freedom of expression, in democratic development, and in fighting corruption. Freedom, democracy, and the rule of law are precious. And consolidating all the institutional and democratic reforms will take time. I understand that. It's a long process. It needs patience. It needs perseverance. And it needs you and your political leaders to show determination to undertake further reforms. The improvements you have made so far have already had an important impact on your economy because they have engendered confidence and encouraged outside investors. Foreign investments continue to increase, particularly in the fields of energy, communications, transport, and trade. And this means that despite the global economy suffering from one of its worst ever crises, Georgia's economic performance is strong. Although growth slowed slightly in this last quarter, your annual growth was over 6% last year, and you remain on track to reach 5.5% or even higher this year. That's an impressive achievement. And if you want it to continue, then you will need to continue and build on all the good work that has been done to date. Another area where Georgia has made considerable progress is in supporting international peacekeeping. Your country is a significant contributor to NATO operations. Nearly 1,000 Georgian troops are serving in Afghanistan, where they are doing an outstanding job. Your infantry battalion in Helmand and your infantry company in Kabul are operating without restrictions. This means commanders have much greater flexibility over how to use these troops. For example, it means they can be deployed quickly whenever and wherever extra security is needed. Contributions like this are key to the success of our mission in Afghanistan. Georgia has also deployed trainers to Afghanistan to help train the Afghan National Security Forces. As we hand over greater security responsibility to the Afghans themselves over the next few years, these training contributions will be ever more important. It is highly significant that your country is now the second largest non-NATO contributor to the International Security Assistance Force in Afghanistan. And next year, when you intend to increase your commitment, you will be the largest non-NATO contributor. For a country of just over 4.5 million people, this is a contribution of which all Georgians can be extremely proud, and for which all of NATO is extremely grateful. But of course, you also have security concerns at home. The complete restoration of territorial integrity and sovereignty within the internationally recognized borders of Georgia remains a priority. NATO understands this. All NATO allies have consistently supported you on this, and we will continue to do so. We do not, and we will not recognize the so-called independence of the Georgian regions, Abkhazia and South Ossetia. And we welcome your President's pledge of non-use of force, because the solution lies in outreach and dialogue, not in military force. Let me now turn to my third point, the future. Your country has made significant progress in a short period of time, but the journey is not yet finished. I encourage you not to be satisfied with what you have got. Never stop and rest on your laurels. Demand more and do more, because the process of building a true democracy and safeguarding your freedom can never be complete. Next year, you will vote in parliamentary elections, and the following year, you will have the opportunity to vote in the presidential elections. Free, fair, and successful elections demand a good and strong electoral code. There must also be a level playing field for all candidates in the elections, so that everyone who wants to participate can do so freely and fairly, without intimidation and interference. But a true democracy is not just about a ballot box. It's about much more, such as respect and tolerance for minority views, freedom of expression, and full independence of the media and of the judiciary. Democratic institutions need to be strong and robust. They need to depend on the legitimate responsibilities of the appointment, not on individual personalities. This requires the full involvement of civil society from all parts of the country, from all sectors of the population, and from all ages. Everyone needs to be involved, because politics is far too important to be left to the politicians. Politics is for you, the people, and you must play your part. There have already been some significant strides forward. You have swept away the old Soviet-era legal system with important amendments to the civil and criminal codes. As far as I'm informed, the first jury trial took place yesterday, and I encourage you to take the opportunity to sit on a jury. This is an excellent way to increase your own confidence in the judicial system and the credibility of the system as a whole. You have also had success at tackling corruption. You sacked the entire traffic police force because officers harassed motorists by asking for bribes and had become the most hated people in Georgia. Reforms like this have a lasting and positive impact because they improve the lives of everyday people, and in doing so, they help create confidence in the government and in democracy itself. But a key benchmark of your democratic development will be the conduct of the elections next year and in 2013. By demonstrating the same interest and engagement as your fellow students did 8 years ago, you can help to ensure that the benchmark is met, because it's important for your future and it's important for your country's future. Ladies and gentlemen, as you and your fellow Georgians continue the process of building your nation, you can look for inspiration from one of your great national heroes, Ilia Ceausescu. I noticed that this university is located on an avenue that bears his name. And it is no coincidence that he has become the national symbol of freedom and independence. His book, Letters of a Traveler, was written nearly 150 years ago, and it contained his idea on how to build a strong, independent, and vibrant Georgian nation. Those ideas are as relevant today as they were then. During the last 20 years, you have worked hard to build a sovereign nation based on freedom, democracy, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. Georgia has expressed its desire for membership of NATO. And NATO has reiterated that its door remains open to any European state that can contribute to the security of the North Atlantic area and further the principles upon which we have built our alliance. At our summit in 2008 in Bucharest, NATO decided that Georgia will become a member of the alliance. I was Prime Minister of Denmark at that time. I attended the Bucharest summit and I supported wholeheartedly that decision. And let me reassure you that the Bucharest decision remains firm and still stands. Let me also stress that NATO's open door policy is not directed against anyone. Our open door policy is based on the fundamental principle that a sovereign state has the right to make its own choices about its alliances. I look forward to seeing Georgia in NATO as soon as it is fully able to meet the obligations and responsibilities of membership. Georgia has already made an impressive start. You are on the right track, and it is now up to you to carry on with that work and to focus on continued reform, because that is the only true path to NATO membership. And it's the only true ticket to a secure and stable future for all of you, built on the firmest of foundations, freedom and democracy. Thank you.